Have you ever been halfway through explaining a simple concept only to realize you're drowning the other person in unnecessary details? You look up to find them nodding, and yet you keep talking, pouring out information like a fire hydrant. Why do we do this? Today, let's take a deep dive into the psychology behind over-explaining and what it reveals about our need for reassurance. Over-explaining isn't just a quirk in communication. It's an intriguing dance between our thoughts and emotions, often rooted in our past experiences and fears. Why do we feel the impulse to keep elaborating, even when it seems unnecessary? Spoiler alert. It often has little to do with the clarity of our message and a lot to do with our own insecurities and conditioning. First off, over-explaining often springs from a place of anticipated rejection. Think about it. When you sense that someone might misunderstand you or judge your thoughts, your brain kicks into overdrive, filling the conversation with context and details. This is where one negativity bias comes into play. Your mind is bracing for the worst, even before anything negative occurs. It's a protective mechanism, but it can lead to an avalanche of verbal clutter. Then, there's the cognitive dissonance that arises when what you mean and how you fear you'll be perceived clash. You know your point is simple. However, a nagging worry creeps in. What if it doesn't land right? So, you find yourself continuously adjusting your explanation mid-sentence, desperately trying to marry intention with interpretation. Let's not forget the impact of social conditioning. If you grew up in an environment where you had to justify your choices to gain respect, your brain learned that clarity requires evidence. A simple answer? That feels risky. A detailed explanation? That's your safety net. You're stuck in a cycle where less feels like more danger. Next, think about control. When you add layers to your message, what are you really trying to do? You're steering the conversation, compulsively guiding the person on how to understand you. Why? Because you want to prevent any misinterpretation or mischief with your words down the line. Underlying all this is a pervasive mismatch in self-trust. When you believe in what you're saying, you tend to stop once your point is made. But when doubt creeps in, what do? You repeat, hoping that sheer volume compensates for a lack of confidence. It's a game of reassurance. The louder you talk, the more right you feel. And let's address the subtle signals our nervous systems catch. A pause, a blank expression, or even a simple "okay" can trigger a sense of insecurity. You might interpret those moments as confusion or disagreement, prompting a flood of additional details that do nothing but add confusion to clarity. So, where does this all lead? Over-explaining isn't about the content of your speech. It's about your quest for reassurance. You find yourself not trying to be more clear, but rather trying to feel safer. Once you recognize this pattern, the behavior starts to unravel. The crucial shift occurs in that moment, when you feel the urge to add just one more sentence. Instead of succumbing to the impulse, take a breath and ask yourself, am I clarifying or am I protecting? Summary. To wrap it all up, understanding over-explaining opens a door to self-awareness. It's driven by our fears of rejection, cognitive dissonance, social conditioning, control instincts, and a lack of self-trust. Recognizing this behavior isn't about guilt, it's about growth. In the next video, we'll explore practical strategies to help you trust your words and communicate more effectively without excessive elaboration. So, the next time you catch yourself talking far too much, pause for a moment, reflect, and remind yourself, what you've already said may be more than enough. Embrace this newfound understanding, and join me next time as we continue to navigate the intricacies of clear communication. You're not alone in this. Together we can achieve clarity without feeling the need for backup.